Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos, come in. I know it's early, but let me hear Shabbat Shalom anyways. Shabbat Shalom. Yeah, can you hear me out there? Shh. Let's hear Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Nice. Voice is warmed up. Let's warm up our spirits with a little wonderful nigun.
To be together, to learn something new, and sit amongst old friends. And so to begin our Shabbat service tonight, we turn to page 13 and invite Lori Blinder forward to light our Shabbat candles.
Light is the foundation of life, yet impossible to touch. Light is flowers growing and fruit trees blossoming, photosynthesis and rainbows shimmering. Light is energy and romance, enlightenment and lightning. Light is red and violet and magenta and blue. Lasers and campfires, warmth and illumination, the sunset and the dawn. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu v'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, eternal source of the universe, who hails us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Return to page 34 for Lechadodi. Every voice.
Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tehila.
Kiva
Please just look at the other page, facing the Chadodi, page 33. The Sabbath is a bride. The Sabbath is a bride. The Sabbath is a bride. Beloved, come to meet the bride.
Continue with the Chetzi Kaddish on page 42. We rise together for the call to worship. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai.
Together at the top of page 45. If fear is like a rock, then let me be a hammer. If sorrow is a fire, then let me be the sea. When challenges arise, may my heart increase in strength, like the moon that shines brighter when the darkness falls. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, O God, who makes the evening fall. Page 50. O God, you traveled with our fathers as they journeyed through the wilderness. You sang with our fathers at the shores of the Red Sea. You stood with our fathers as they fought against oppression. You have brought us all here, fathers and mothers, daughters and sons, to our own promised land of freedom.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, אהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. continue on page 57.
ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו לתותבות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 61 at the bottom. Together, standing at the waters of the Red Sea, at the Mason-Dixon line, at the walls of the Warsaw Ghetto, the Berlin Wall, the wall that separates men from women, the privileged from the persecuted, perpetrator from victim, the master from the slave. We cry out, as did our ancestors in ancient days, "Let my people go, let all God's people be free," so that we may dance and sing together once again at the shores of the Red Sea.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך, כמוך, מי כמוך, כמוך עושה ולך, מי כמוך, כמוך, מי כמוך, כמוך עושה מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך, כמוך, מי כמוך, כמוך עושה ולך, מי כמוך, כמוך, מי כמוך, כמוך עושה
מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה, זה לי ענו ואמרו. 1, 2, 3.
מי כמוך, כמוך, מי כמוך, כמוך לעולם ועד ועד. מי כמוך, כמוך, מי כמוך, כמוך לעולם ועד.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We continue together on page 64 in the middle of the page. Cause us, our Creator, to lie down in peace, and raise us up, O sovereign God, to renewed life and peace. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Be our shield of mercy and of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Haporei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Amo Yisrael, Ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol amo Yisrael.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol amo
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot
Shalom, shalom aleinu ve'akol amo
We'll rise together on page 68.
Adonai sebatai tiftachu v'yagi tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei ha'kol, V'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, U'mevii geula livnei bneihem, Lema'an shemo be'ahava, Melech chozer u'Mashiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah.
We continue on page 69 together in the middle of the page. Prayer lets us presence suffuse our spirits to let God's will prevail in our lives. Prayer cannot bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city, but prayer can water an errant soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Blessed are you, O God, who renews all things.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללו הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. Please be seated.
Hard not to have the thought that our prayers are being answered as we join in song like that, but I want to tell you a quick story from this week. I had the honor of attending the Intercongregational Brotherhood dinner this week, where I met a 98-year-old man. And we were chatting, he's not from Temple, Israel, we were just chatting about life and how he feels, and I said, so you're just turned 98, how do you feel? He said, I feel fantastic. And he paused and he said, my bones hurt every single day. And I realized that when I saw the words of the translation of our healing prayer tonight, sometimes our bones are frightened, our bones hurt, but even with those little aches and pains, even with the challenges we face, we can still recognize that we are whole. We have a bit of shlemut, a bit of wholeness in us. And so our prayer tonight, that even though our bones may be frightened, even though our bones may ache, we can find wholeness, completion, healing, as we join together in this new healing prayer, Choneini.
Choneini, be gracious to my soul. Choneini, please make my body whole. Ki lalani, refaeni, kiri malu at samai. We know you hear our cry, Choneini. Reach out with your right arm, Choneini. Oh God, how long? Ki lalani, refaeni. For now, but you can satisfy. We know you hear our cry, Choneini.
I hope you all know I'm living out a lifelong dream of singing in the tefillah team tonight. And it's Maddie's first time singing in the adult tefillah team, which is amazing. But really, such a joy to have such beautiful intention behind our music tonight. So February 14th, yesterday's date, is very special to me. It's a day filled with love and gifts and celebration. A day when I can really go above and beyond to show my partner how much he means to me. Why, you may ask? No, it's his birthday. And it was lovely, thank you for asking. But in all seriousness, it has always been a lot of fun to celebrate Dan's birthday in the midst of all this Valentine's Day craziness. We can't get a dinner reservation, and if we do manage to snag one, we are crammed into that teeny tiny dark table in the corner, surrounded by lovebirds exchanging cards and flowers and ordering that special lava cake for two. Everything is pink and red and white. Jewelry stores and chocolate companies are in advertising in full force, and social media blows up with people trying to outdo each other to prove that their partner loves them the most, with snapshots of bouquets and extravagant gifts. It's like the whole world is celebrating our love along with us. Now, aside from the whole Hallmark-created holiday part of Valentine's Day, this idea that we should take some time to intentionally, deliberately recognize the love in our lives is important. Now, I don't just mean the love between intimate partners. I mean that love that we carry for our parents, our children, our siblings, our cousins, grandparents, coworkers, and our close friends. We don't all need to wait collectively for Dan's birthday to thoughtfully express how much the people in our lives mean to us. In his book, The 5 Love Languages, Gary Chapman describes how we express and receive love from one another. And he highlights that different people experience love and desire to be loved in different ways. We generally try to show love and affection for others in the way that we like to receive it. So for example, if you need to hear loving words spoken to you to feel loved, you will most likely use that method to express your love for others. Now the problem is, our loved ones may best receive our love in a different way. So he realizes that people are not simple and may appreciate more than one or all 5 of these love languages to varying degrees. But he suggests that learning the language of the one you really want to give to will really help. So I want to tell you what those 5 love languages are, so you can figure out where you are on the spectrum of love. So number 1, words of affirmation, saying I love you, or saying thank you, for example. Using language to express how much someone means to you, telling them, you're proud of who they are, of their accomplishments. Number 2, acts of service. Doing things for your beloved, like washing the dishes or changing a diaper, running an errand to save someone time, or taking the grandkids for the weekend. Thank you. It's about easing your loved one's burden by shouldering that burden yourself. Number 3, gifts. Now, the person who speaks this love language thrives on the thoughtfulness and effort behind a gift. The act of giving a gift tells your loved one that you cared enough to think about them in advance, to go out of your way to find something for them that you know will make them smile. Number 4, quality time. Spending time giving focused attention to one another. Now, this means leaving your cell phone in the other room while you cook and eat dinner together. You plan activities and experiences to share, or you can even binge watch the latest Netflix series, but without distraction. And my recommendation for all of you out there tonight is Russian Doll. Yes. In our busy, hyper-connected world, fully devoting ourselves to being in relationship with another person can be a deep and meaningful expression of love. And last but not least, touch. Some people express and receive love through physical affection, hugging, holding hands, snuggling on the couch. It means something when they are close to the people they love, when their parent or their partner drapes an arm over their shoulder or around their waist, and they appreciate that sense of intimacy. So now we take a moment to think about ourselves, how we show others we love them, how we want others to show us love, and we think about our children, our friends, our partners, our loved ones. Do we know what their love language is? How many times have we missed a chance when we pull away, when we scroll through Facebook when they're trying to connect with us? We miss a chance to offer a sweet gift or a compliment or words of pride. And how amazing does it feel to when someone in our lives speaks our language, when they really know what a few kind words or an act of service means to us? So this past week, I had the privilege of visiting a class at the Farber Hebrew Day School. It was my second time being invited as a guest teacher in their Reform Judaism elective, where young modern Orthodox boys and girls choose to learn all about our movement. It's one of my favorite days of the year. These kids are wonderful, knowledgeable, excited to learn, deeply respectful. They also sometimes watch us later on YouTube, and they ask some really, really good questions. So we were talking about the law and being bound by it, why Orthodox Jews believe we must do what God asks of us, without exception, all of it, and why we, as Reform Jews, only feel divinely bound to the ethical rules laid out for us in our holiest texts. And one student, who had been fairly quiet up until this point, raises his hand in the back. And I called on him and he asked, how do you let God know you love him if you don't do what he asks? So it makes sense, right? If you believe that each and every law comes directly from God, then following the laws is God's love language. These are acts of service. And as Jews, no matter what denomination we belong to, we do our very, very best to love God and to speak God's love language, to show our gratitude and our commitment and our dedication in many different ways. We offer words of affirmation in our daily prayers with our sweet melodies, like those from our tefillah team tonight. We thank God for redeeming us from Egypt, for bringing us into this world, for allowing us to wake up each and every morning, even though our bones may hurt, and for the blessings in our lives. We perform acts of service, defined by some as following halakha to the letter, defined by others as teaching our values and our traditions to our children, by hosting Passover Seders and building Sukkot together, by telling our stories, by serving our communities, by volunteering, by giving tzedakah, by partnering with God to make this world a better place for all who live in God's creation. We give gifts, like our ancestors in Titzaveh, this week's Torah portion, who learned how to perform sacrifices to God's liking in the ancient temple, giving the best and the finest of what they had and what they grew to please the Lord. And we spend quality time with God. Now, for some, that means prayer, it means meditation, or a walk through the trails to clear our minds and hearts. But for others, it means being in real, deep, quality relationships with other human beings, and that is akin to holy time. Touch. There are so many hands-on experiences involved in our relationship with God. When our hands knead the dough as we prepare challah for Shabbat, our grandmother's recipe, of course. When we hang mezuzot on the doorposts of our house, often with the help of our Jewish personal trainers. We wear kippot, we wear talitot, literally wrapping ourselves in God's mitzvot so we can focus on the now. On the teen mission, we challenge our kids to say 100 blessings each and every day. They thank God for making a new friend, for trying a new food, for making it to the oasis at the end of a long hike, for getting more than 5 hours of sleep at one time, for conquering a fear, for seeing a beautiful flower, for learning something new. And let's do the same. We speak God's love languages, and in return, we are blessed with the beauty of this world, with the depth of our tradition, with the realization that every bite, every smell, every taste, every experience, every hour with those we love is a gift. That is God speaking our love language. Because Judaism and God, they teach us not to take these things for granted. They are our words of affirmation, our quality time, our gifts, our touches, our acts of service. We speak God's love language and God speaks ours. Now the trick is to pay attention. Shabbat Shalom.
Come dry your tears, no need to be afraid. I am always here, and I will keep your spirit safe.
These are the words I hear in my heart, just like a prayer when my world comes apart. And I know out of the darkness a light will shine, and through the silence a song will rise. Where there is fear, there can be faith, 'cause at the end of every road, there's always hope.
There are those who walk in the shadows, praising
Every once in a while, the clergy sits here on the bema, we listen to this incredible music, we are mesmerized by the experience, just like you are. And then we have to come back here and do our jobs, and so we whisper to one another, wait, is it Aleinu or is it announcements? What comes next? And Rabbi Mueller turned to me, I said, is it Hillary or is it Aleinu? And Rabbi Mueller said, Hillary always comes first. So I'd like to invite Hillary, the president of our congregation, who always comes first, Hillary King.
Thank you to the Tefillah team for lending your beautiful voices to tonight's service. And thank you, Cantor Smolash. That healing prayer was beautiful. We hope to hear it again. This Monday at noon, our Ask Adults Seeking Knowledge series, our Lunch and Learn program, Michael Hodges will discuss his new book, Building the Modern World, Albert Kahn in Detroit. Hodges, a fine art writer for the Detroit News, will engage us with his historical accounts, photos, and images of Detroit architecture. For those of us taking care of loved ones, our caregiver support group meets on the first and third Thursday of each month. Be part of this supportive environment led by a trained professional. The next session is this Thursday at 10 a.m. Also on Thursday morning, Cantor Smolash delves into Kabbalah at our user's guide for the soul class. Learn the tools to discover your highest self and master the challenges of your life. If you can't be there in person, join us on YouTube for a live stream. On Monday evening, February 25th, we'll be in the sanctuary with a very interesting speaker, Teresa Flores. She is a child trafficking survivor and has become an educator and an expert on this very important subject. This event will be well attended and is already drawing media attention. It's open to the community and is appropriate for ages 12 and older. Reservations are requested by next Friday, February 22nd. I look forward to seeing each of you at the Oneg after services. Shabbat Shalom.
We turn now in our prayer books to page 189. If there are any youngsters in the congregation, if you're under 10 or 11 years old, we'd like to invite you up here on the bema. You'll get a little Shabbat treat as the rest of us rise for the Aleinu, page 189.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotze breshit, shelo asanu kigoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishbechot hadama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegoralenu kechol hamonam, anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. Before we turn to our task of memory, I understand we have a few guests here tonight, and I wanted to welcome you, and we hope that you've enjoyed our service. If you have any questions or would like to speak to a member of our clergy after services, we'd be happy to talk with you, and that always goes for anybody else as well. So yesterday marked 1 year since the shooting in Parkland, Florida, at the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. A day that was meant to be filled with love and celebration and chocolate and birthday turned violent and tragic and deadly, and 17 students and teachers lost their lives. And in the last year, we've learned a lot about the power of
students and what they can do and how they've raised their voices and made all of us aware of how we can make change. And then yet again today, there was another shooting. And as far as I know, 5 people died and many more were injured. And so we wanted to offer a prayer in memory of those who died in Parkland last year, but it could easily be offered in memory or thinking of those in Colorado today. And so, oh grief, this grief suddenly forced upon us with violence and weapon, that your names have become prayers to keep us safe from violence, that your sweet lives, once held with joy and light, are now among the accusers of those who fail to protect us from the plague of guns. Scott, Aaron, Chris, Martin, Luke, Kara, Jamie, Nicholas, Gina, Alex, Joaquin, Elena, Peter, Meadow, Elena, Alyssa, Carmen. Oh grief, this grief suddenly forced upon us with malice and anger, that Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, Parkland, Florida, would join the list of schools attacked, traumatized with horror, knowing that this hasn't ended yet. Let justice prevail. Author of life, source and creator, grant a perfect rest under your tabernacle of peace to the victims of this massacre in Parkland, Florida. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life, a living blessing in our midst. May they rest in peace. God of mercy, remember too the survivors of this attack. Ease their suffering and release their trauma. Grant them endurance to survive, strength to rebuild, faith to mourn, and courage to heal, so that they recover lives of joy and wonder. Remember the families and friends of the dead and the bereaved with consolation and solace. Grant them your protection, your wholeness and healing. May they find hope and grace. God of consolation, every soul is yours, a world unique and holy. Let your peace reign quickly among us. Let violence, hatred, and terror vanish. Let your comfort descend from heaven, and let the righteous rest in peace. Amen. Today we remember them and all of those in our own community who've died in the past 30 days. We remember May Bell, Margaret Berlin, Marvin Berman, Marilyn Epstein, Richard Harvey Fishman, Audrey Gladman, Alfred Goldberger, Myra Gornbein, Rosalie Greenberg, Bertram Harris, Mildred Jacobson, Kenneth Katz, Edith Lazarus, Louise Lazarus, Norma Levin, Shirley Lipson, Mitch Newman, Nathan Pice, Dr. Lowell Ressler, Norman Robbins, Dr. David Rothenberg, Millie Schneider, Doris Cooper Sheldon, Mina Shugal, Esther Steinway, Joseph Stearns, and Gary Wexler. We remember too those whose yard sites fell this Shabbat: Reuben Babcock, Edith Baines, Marcy Bletstein, Matthew Borovoy, Marcia Brown, Boyd Karnick, Robbie Fisher, Sally Gelfond, Thelma Harris, Ann Heller, Aviva Pearl Herman, Neil Kay, Esther Kohlenberg, Hal Leader, Yale Levine, Edward Mack, Scott David Paisner, Hyman Press, Gerald Rosenfield, Dave Sakwa, Joe Schneider, Alvin Schultz, Ann Gante Silver, Joel Stern, Marlon Sudheimer, Albert Winnick, Yetta Drackler, Evelyn Becker, Irving Broadwin, Max Walter, Celia Friedman, Nettie Schwartz, Harry Lader, Edda Oken, Martin Levine, Marty Steinberg, Matthew Scott Doran, Sybil Markowitz, Mel Markowitz, Winnie Snyder, Russell Medali, Florence Babcock, Lottie Babcock, Philip Kaplan, Pearl Sandubray, Harold Lambert, Ronnie Silberman, Jerome Silberman, Herbert Katzen, Benjamin Goldhoff, Yetta Sherman, Sam Epstein, Harvey Schatz, Ethel Cohen. Tehei Nishmotehem Soror B'Tzra Chaim. May their souls be bound up in the bond of everlasting life and memory. We rise now as we turn to page 199 for the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadosh Shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon u'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'bizman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam omei maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei d'kudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran v'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved among us. Amen.
Thank our tefillah team as they come up for beautifying our service, our musicians, and especially Sean McDonald. One of our rabbis said to me, I heard the recording of the new composition, but it didn't enter my soul until tonight. I didn't tell him the secret. It's because of you that it enters our souls. So thank you for everything you do. I always appreciate it, Sean. And we conclude our service on page 1, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. 2, 3, 4.
Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai. 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 Oh, Rabbeinu Chai. Oh, Rabbeinu Chai. Oh, Rabbeinu Chai. Oh, Rabbeinu Chai. Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael 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 Chai. Oh, Rabbeinu Chai. Oh, Rabbeinu Chai. Rabbeinu Chai. Rabbeinu
Am Yisrael Chai. Od Avinu Chai. We can hear when we sing. Come and raise your voice with us and Amen.
Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai. Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai. Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai. Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai. Oh, Rabbeinu Chai. Oh, Rabbeinu Chai. Oh, Rabbeinu
Amen.